Okay, yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for spending some time with me today. I appreciate it. And I wanted
Thank
to
you.
congratulate you on your new album, Route 96. I had a chance to listen to
Thanks.
it over the past couple days. It's fantastic.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Absolutely. Now, um, this album kind of feels like both a musical journey and a statement to your identity. What does the title represent to you, both personally and artistically? Route 96.
Well, it started really with a joke that I did with my companions, the drummer and the bass player, that I wanted to title it Route 96 because I'm from 1996, the year I was born.
Okay.
And plus, there was this inside joke between us that the recording settings for the album were this is a little bit nerdy, but some people will understand it.
Sure.
I recorded everything at 96 kilohertz, and this is the recording rate. Imagine that it's kind of a sample rate for it's basically the sample rate for the audio, and the higher the sample rate it is, the better it will be, let's say. The
Hmm.
standard is 44, but I decided to record everything at 96 kilohertz. That's why Route 96, let's say. But that's a joke for the nerds. It's not really the main reason. And that happened because I was in contact with Steve Vai back then, back when I started um, recording the album. And there was a brief exchange of emails with Steve, and I just asked him, what are your recording settings? What are you working? Uh, and what DAW do you use and everything? And he just told me that he recorded everything on 96 kilohertz. So, okay, if Steve does it, I need to do it as well. So that
Very
was another reason. Yeah.
sure. Absolutely. Now, this album kind of shows a wide range of moods and styles like you typically do. When you were writing and recording this album, did you have a specific story or like emotional arc that you had in mind?
Oh, no, not really. Every time I start from scratch, it's really I don't have anything in mind like that. And that's why it's so diverse. Every time I start really from zero, like when I'm composing a song, and it really happens. Uh, like for example, if I start with classical guitar, it will be much more classical oriented, of course. But I always start composing with the guitar in my hands, so it's always it has been always like that. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Now, your first single is La Feliz. I really love the interplay
Yeah.
between the acoustic guitar from Anton Boyer and your electric guitar. How did you end up working with Anton, and how did you kind of choose to take that song in the direction using both acoustic and electric?
Well, the main goal was to have. I wanted to write a song that was having both classical, gypsy, and electric at the same time. And that was pretty tough at first because I wanted to figure out a way to do it because I really love gypsy guitar. And I wanted to invite a proper gypsy jazz player uh, mm, because I felt that was the right direction for the song. And Antoine was the perfect example because to me, he's of course an incredible gypsy jazz player, but he's open-minded enough to participate and play on this stuff that is not really like gypsy traditional jazz stuff. Because a lot of gypsy jazz player, even incredibly high level, but they only play Django, they only play that kind of stuff. And at the moment you put them on another direction or another, let's say, uh, different style, it doesn't sound like it belongs there. And Antoine did completely the opposite. He's such a versatile guy that you can put him everywhere and it will sound incredibly good. And Isla Feliz is the perfect example. So I wanted to do something that was having my favorite guitars, let's say, because I'm a big gypsy jazz fan. I love classical guitar as well, but of course, I love electric as well. So Isla contains all the sounds I like to hear, and all the guitars, all my favorite guitars, basically gypsy, classical, and electric.
Right. Yeah, that's a great way. What a way to kind of kick off the album. Um, Now another
Yeah.
great song is and you mentioned Steve Hive with your 96 there. Solar Wind. Phenomenal guitar song. Now did you both work in the studio together or did you do that more like file sharing?
No, we just did file sharing. Same thing was with Antoine as well.
Oh.
Every guest I had was basically working on distance. So in the case of Steve, I was surprised because I asked him to participate on this song, and I think 1 month after I asked him, I already had his solo. And considering that Steve is an incredibly busy guy, that was so surprising to me because you don't take this for granted, when you're talking about big names, they're always so busy with other stuff and they're always touring, and Steve is always outside playing with whatever project he has at the moment, so with such vibe band, for example. So surprisingly for me, it really took uh, um, it really did a lot with my song. So you don't take this for granted considering his big name. So I was really surprised. And he's such an open book, You can ask him anything and he will answer to you in a really honest way. So collaborating with Steve was incredible, also because of that.
Sure. Oh, absolutely. He's one of my favorites as well. Now, it's amazing what technology allows you to do today. I mean, back in the day before your time, you actually all had to be in the studio. Now, it works for you. That's kind of something you're used to, or would you prefer to be in the studio to kind of have that interplay with other musicians?
Well, it really depends on the song. If everything is recorded on click and you can manage to work on distance with other people, if you really want to do something where there's a lot of interplay and is more jazz oriented, let's say, I always suggest that recording together in the same room will be always the best thing to do. But in my case, I didn't have enough time to organize sessions together with the other musicians because Antoine is also a very busy guy, Steve as well.
Hmm.
And the third guest is Valery Stepanov, he's a keyboard player from Russia. And it was basically impossible to bring him in Sicily to record. So I decided, okay, we will record everything with a click so we can work on distance. And I think that's the best choice if you don't have a lot of time available because I wanted to do everything by the end of 2025. So that was the best thing for me.
Sure, absolutely. Now, is there one track on the album that kind of represents what represents where you are right now as an artist? Or one track that you really go, man, this is it?
Uh, I don't really know because there's no, because the album is so diverse. There's no one track that represents the whole album, So Isla Feliz, for example, is the only track that is Latin influenced, let's say. So if you hear only that track and you imagine that the whole album will be like that, it's completely the opposite.
Right.
There is Isla Feliz, there's Black Centurion that is completely the opposite. It is like more art rock oriented, let's say.
Absolutely.
So I guess I should say that the album is melodically more uh, sophisticated, let's say, compared to the first one. There are more melodies that I'm more proud of compared to the first album. And Isla Feliz is the perfect example because there are no such like clear melodies like Isla Feliz on the first one. And I took a lot of time to work on that direction, like trying to have clear melodies that you can memorize easily, let's say. So I think that's the step that I wanted to take for that album. for this album in particular. I don't like to have everything in one style,
Mm,
as you probably understood. Like I like to have the classical oriented song, the rock song, the blues one, the more jazz oriented, because I have more fun on the stage if I play different things.
mm.
So that's why I always choose to do this direction. And from this point of view, it's very similar to the first album, actually.
Right. Very much so. Um, so you toured the United States for the first time last year. What was that experience like to travel the country?
Well, it was great. It felt amazing. I was surprised by how big USA is. Like, if you travel like 4 hours in US, sometimes you are still on the same state, you
Same
know?
state, right?
If you travel, yeah, yeah, if you travel 4 hours in Europe, you traverse like half of it. So uh,
Right.
it's surprising how big it is and how much I realized how big it is compared to Europe. And uh, it, sometimes it's not that easy to tour in USA because of the travel distances compared to Europe. Um, so that's why, and especially the Arizona state, for example, I was surprised by the landscapes because there's no you can't see something like that in Europe. There are no deserts like that.
Right.
You need to go in Africa in order uh, to see something similar, but it's not quite like that, you know.
Right.
So that's why I was surprised by the landscapes, the nature of it, and there's such, like, compared to Europe, like America is developed horizontally rather than vertically. Like
Right.
Italy is developed vertically. Like the cities are developed vertically because we don't have much space.
Mm.
Uh, Meanwhile, like in America, everything is so far from each other. Like the streets are, everything is too far from each other. I felt this. I really felt this thing. Meanwhile, in Italy, like streets are
Very narrow.
narrow, yeah, yeah. So like I'm not used to having so much space, and it's so much easier to drive because of that. Like you have tons of space to park
Right.
everywhere. uh, but yeah, by the way, jokes aside, it was a wonderful thing, and we did have a lot of fun, mainly because we didn't take much planes. Everything was with
Private.
van,
Mm.
and it almost felt like an adventure. It didn't felt like work. It felt like, okay, I go on an adventure with my teammates. Yeah, that
Sure.
was great.
Yeah. Very good. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed the experience. Yeah. People don't, I have family from England and they don't realize like America is several different countries within our own country, the South and the
Yeah.
Northeast and Midwest and the West. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. So, uh, something different. But so you kind of started out being like a viral sensation on the internet to kind of being this global touring artist. How has that transition kind of changed your mindset, both as a composer and, like you said, a band leader? You have your teammates with you.
Well, the one thing that changed is that I always wanted to do that rather than only being an internet sensation, because I didn't want to be a content creator or an artist that exists only on social media. So the live part was so important to me that for a period of time I just stopped making videos on YouTube in my room, and I started like looking for people to play for real. That's
Right.
how the trio videos started. And I realized when the first video, let's say that the first viral video was a version of the chicken that I did with my trio back in 2017. And I realized, okay, people are more interested in seeing me play with other people rather than just me playing on the bedroom or just me playing with backing tracks. So that was the first transition. And then I realized, okay, the thing I like the most right now is playing live and interacting with other musicians at the same time. So that's why I always preferred electric guitar rather than classical guitar, because with the classical guitar you play pretty much alone with your score because it's not an orchestra instrument. Electric guitar, you play a lot with drummers, you play a lot with other bass players or guitar players, so it's much more, let's say, an instrument where you can interact with other people more. um, and I should say I had my first manager in 2021. His name is Michele Mozzicato, and from 2021 to now was the period where I really started to play a lot, because before 2021 I managed everything myself, and honestly it was too much for just one person. So the lucky thing for me is that in 2021, I believe we started in June or July 2021. From that point, I realized, okay, this is the thing I want to do. I want to concentrate on live and using social media to promote my music. In fact, I don't consider myself a content creator. I'm not really good at this. There are people that can upload like one video every week or one every day sometimes.
Right.
I I upload like whenever I have something available. I don't have really a schedule, so I only use social media to promote my music now. Yeah.
Right. Very good. So you are heading out on the roads soon, and are you bringing the same two musicians that you had last year?
Yeah. Gianluca Pellerito on drums and Ricardo Oliva on bass.
Yeah, those guys are fantastic. I really like
Yeah.
that you let them express themselves as well, extended solos and whatnot. I saw you at the Kent stage last year when you played in Kent, Ohio, and it was one of the best shows of the year. I think everybody was floored and blown away with all three of your talent.
Thank you. Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you so much.
yeah, for sure. Um, so you are coming back to the Kent stage next month. What can fans expect from your show?
Well, we have tons of new tunes available. Uh, the show will be pretty much centered around the second solo album. So there will be a lot of spoilers because the album will come out on April. I think it will be April 24th. Uh, but we play the songs way, probably 80% of the set list it's centered around this second album.
Oh, great.
So I already know that a lot of people will do videos and they will be uploaded on YouTube. You can't avoid that. I'm
Right.
not necessarily a fan of spoiling things before the album comes out, but you can do anything about it. So I'm okay with videos and photos and whatever. I mean, I I prefer to not have people that upload the whole show, right?
Right.
Because there are people, sometimes it happened that some people uploaded the whole show from the last tour quite a few times, and I'm not necessarily a fan of that. I mean, you can record one song or maybe one solo, that's totally fine, and even more, of course, but the whole show, I mean, you need to come here to see me. So if you have everything available on YouTube, people will not come to the show because they are already seeing the whole thing on YouTube. So,
Right.
uh, but you can't really avoid it. So that's it.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Um, how long is this tour? How long are you coming to America this time?
um, it's about 1 month, I think, 1 month and a
Oh,
half. Like
okay.
the first, I think the first gig will be at NAM show in LA, probably January 23rd.
Soon,
And then
next
the
week.
last show, yeah, that will be next week. And the last one will be, I don't remember the play. Yeah, the last one will be in Chicago.
Hmm.
I think it will be February 27th or February 28th. So it's like a little bit more than 1 month.
Right.
And then on March, I will go back home. Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Yeah, you got me thinking. The way singles are released now, you talked about, some spoilers are going, when people come to the show and they might record. But it seems today the thing is, at least back in the day, it was you would release a single and then you would release the whole album. But today it seems like more artists are releasing single, 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 then the album. What do you think? What would you prefer to do?
Uh, well, what we're doing right now is to have three singles, and then after the release of the three singles, we release the whole album.
Okay,
And the thing we did with the first album is to release two singles first, full album, and then another single after some months, like to have a final push, let's say.
sure.
Uh, I think we will probably do the same thing for the second album. I know that a lot of people tend to prefer like to release more singles and then the full album after a year or so.
Right.
But I had I was lucky enough to have enough material to release the full album before, and I honestly prefer to do it like that.
Right. Okay. Very good. Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
give people a taste and then okay, now you got the whole thing, the whole album released. It's 10 tracks on this on the new record.
No, it's nine tracks.
Nine
It's
tracks. Okay.
eight originals plus one cover, and it's a kind of a new version of the chicken.
You're right.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. All right, Matteo. Well, hey, I am looking forward to seeing you once again next month at the Kent stage. I wish you
Thank you.
safe travels and the best of luck on this new album. I'm going to get the word out. And again, it's fantastic. And everyone's going to pack the Kent stage for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All
Have a
right,
nice
great.
day.
Ciao. Thank you.
Ciao.